Have you ever wished that you had a really cool creative space where you could kind of disappear into and sit and tweak your edit or your audio or record your voiceovers or just have a nice space to relax in? Well, so did I. And then I realized that I already had the space. I just needed to create it. And I'm talking about, of course, the space that I'm sitting in right now. I've spent a lot of time over Christmas taking a room that looked like this and turned it into this. And I just want to show you a few bits and pieces of that journey. All right, so I'm standing here in our cold attic. It has not been insulated and it's basically just storage. And I'm gonna take this room and I'm gonna turn it into a temporary studio. But first we have to clean it out, of course, and start insulating and kind of doing the foundational work. So we're making some progress here. I've cleaned out the space. I've put up some walls. I've put in some insulation, and then I've put on all of the plastic to keep all the moisture inside of here so it doesn't escape out into the cold attic space that can mess with the wood structure and stuff. So keeping it to building specs is important. So I just finished up the paneling in my little room. I fixed this window up a little bit, and I'm kind of ready to move into the space. Okay, so one step closer. All the paneling and all the stuff is done. And I've got a mat in here now. I have some furniture, my studio desk. There's a bunch of stuff all over the floor that I'm trying to figure out and sort. So the point of this video is, first of all, just to show you that you can take the space that you already have available and turn it into a little slice of creative heaven for you. With some elbow grease and a little bit of know-how and a little bit of money. So this project cost me about, I'd say, $2,000 to create this whole room, including some of the furniture, including this desk behind me. But the room itself, including all the furniture, cost me about $2,000 to create and about 3 weeks of work. Another point I want to make with this video is more audio focused, and that's about acoustics. So you don't need calibrated room treatment or anything like that. You can just put some furniture in and that will take you a long way. So just listen to how much the acoustics in here were impacted just by putting in a mat. But as you can hear, it's kind of a nasty reverb in here. And I've got a mat in here now. I have some furniture, my studio desk, and then of course now you hear what this room sounds like when I've installed pretty much everything. I mean, I still want to put another bookshelf over here, and I want to put actually a bed in this corner. But I've installed my absorbers, my homemade absorbers that does not take a lot of effort or money to create. You can get like 12 of them for $200 roughly. And then I just put some fabric on top and built a homemade frame for it before I hang it up on the wall. This is what they look like. And now you can hear how much the audio has impacted by that. And of course, I'm talking away from the absorbers now. I'm actually talking against the live end of my studio space. But the mat, the diffusion that the bookshelf over here provides, and I've got a guitar rack over here. I've got a wooden door. So all of these things also have a big impact on the acoustics in here. It's spread out a bit more so that the reflections aren't as sharp. So in other words, you can get very far with very little in terms of having a good audio setup in a room and treat it acoustically with stuff that you can just build yourself or get really cheap at hardware store. I hope this inspired you to just go and take your guest bedroom or a little nook in your living room and create a space where you can explore a lot of audio. And that's what I built this room for. I'm gonna be focusing on making a lot of content and keywords, and what this channel is all about is audio, spatial audio or immersive audio, immersive content, 360 videos, DaVinci Resolve, microphone, dialogue editing, sound effects, and a lot of other cool stuff. So if that sounds like something that you would like to learn more about, this is definitely a channel that you should be paying attention to. So thanks for watching and following the journey of creating my little safe haven. I'm very pleased with it, and I feel inspired just walking in here. So see you in the next one.